Welcome to AviatorDB News Briefing. Today is Sunday, August 9th, 2026. Here are today's top stories. Retired Minneapolis police chief helps restrain unruly passenger on United flight. easyJet takeover. Apollo Global Management agrees to $7.7 billion deal. Iberia plans special Eclipse flight to chase Totality on August 12th. Silkway West 7478F diverts to DFW after navigation error, low fuel. Now for the details. A retired police chief and two off-duty law enforcement officers stepped in to subdue an unruly passenger aboard United Airlines Flight 1364, traveling from Newark Liberty International Airport to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. Brian O'Hara, former Minneapolis police chief, said the disturbance began after flight attendants cut off alcohol service to a passenger who then turned belligerent. Cabin crew spent roughly 45 minutes attempting to de-escalate the situation before the passenger became physical. O'Hara and two off-duty Bergen County NJ sheriff's deputies then used plastic flex cuffs to restrain the individual and secure him in his seat, allowing flight attendants to resume their duties and the aircraft to land without further incident. United Airlines confirmed local law enforcement met the flight upon arrival in Fort Lauderdale. Video from the scene shows officers escorting the passenger off the aircraft. Authorities have not publicly identified the individual or announced formal criminal charges. The episode is the latest in a persistent pattern of unruly passenger incidents reported across U.S. domestic carriers. The proposed easyJet takeover by Apollo Global Management has reached a definitive agreement valuing the airline at £5.7 billion, $7.7 billion, according to Reuters and Bloomberg. The all-cash deal, priced at 715 pence per share, represents a 54% premium over easyJet's closing price on February 27th and follows rival bidder Castle Lake's decision to withdraw from the process rather than raise its offer. To comply with European Union foreign ownership limits on airlines, the transaction employs a carefully constructed ownership vehicle. Reuters reports the Haji Ioano family and other remaining shareholders will retain between 45.1% and 49.9% of the acquiring entity, while an EU management trust will hold up to 5%. Apollo will fund the remaining balance up to the applicable regulatory ceiling, a structure designed to preserve easyJet's EU operating licenses post-close. Shares in easyJet rose following confirmation of the agreement. The deal remains subject to regulatory approval in the EU, with completion targeted by the first quarter of 2027. Analysts view the acquisition as a significant reshaping of competitive dynamics within Europe's low-cost carrier sector and a marker of deepening private equity interest in airline assets. Iberia is planning a special charter flight August 12th to observe the first total solar eclipse visible from the Iberian Peninsula since 1912. The operation, designated Flight IB-473, a nod to the birth year of astronomer Nicolas Copernicus, will depart Madrid-Barajas Airport and intercept the eclipse path over northern Spain, targeting the Palencia region during the brief window of totality, expected near 8:29 p.m. local time. The aircraft, an Airbus A321XLR, will cruise at approximately 110,000 meters, 33,000 feet, to maximize visibility by flying above cloud cover and atmospheric distortion. The event will be broadcast live on Iberia's social media channels via onboard Starlink satellite connectivity, giving viewers on the ground a front-row seat to the celestial spectacle. The flight will carry researchers from the Chilios project, led by astronomer Miquel Serra Ricart of the Instituto de Astrofísica de Canarias. The scientific team plans to study the solar corona, normally obscured by the sun's overwhelming brightness, and to track the apparent positions of Venus, Mercury, and several stars that become visible during totality. The mission underscores growing interest in using commercial aviation infrastructure to support opportunistic astronomical research. A Silkway West Airlines Boeing 7478F freighter bound for Houston experienced a significant route deviation that triggered a low-fuel urgency declaration over the Dallas-Fort Worth area Tuesday, August 4, 2026. Flight 7L5722 departing Mexico City's Felipe Angeles International Airport, NLU, reportedly tracked toward Dallas rather than its intended destination, George Bush Intercontinental Airport, IAH. The crew declared a pan urgency call after fuel levels dropped to approximately 6,000 pounds. Air traffic controllers vectored the aircraft to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, where it landed safely on runway 18R. No injuries were reported. The flight later continued to Houston, according to reports from Simple Flying and aviation community discussions on PP-Rune. Official statements from the FAA, NTSB, or Silkway West Airlines had not been released as of publication. Industry analysts say the incident highlights a compounding failure of situational awareness, where an uncorrected navigation error eroded fuel margins and created a high-risk scenario. The episode also underscores the critical role of air traffic control as a final safety net during crew disorientation. Controllers escalated handling and cleared the aircraft priority routing to DFW before the situation deteriorated further. That's all we have for today. You can get the latest aviation news at aviatordb.com.